Let's see if it
Okay.
works.
We're live.
Let me go to Twitch.
It's going to take a second to connect.
I saw us for like half a second and then we were gone. No, it's still giving me the video download was canceled. Please try again.
I'm going to Google it later. So if you're watching on Twitch, I'm so sorry.
Go to YouTube. I don't know what's happening there. The universe doesn't want you to hear all of the spicy Ghosts of Yotei spoilers.
When did we start
Which
this
there are many, because I have a lot of things to talk about.
My God, do we both have things to talk about? And it makes me upset.
Opinions. We're opinionated people.
I think you're more mad than I am.
Maybe?
Maybe? Okay, let's get back to the good news of what I was talking about before. Hi, everybody. This is the what officially is going to be the podcast live on YouTube. Hi. Okay, cool. Before everything crashed and broke, I was giving Emily good news that my computer shouldn't crash again. Right? Huh?
I'm like outside of the window. I'm not in my frame.
I might need to adjust that at some point.
Could you adjust it before we do the podcast so I can be in the frame?
You're in frame.
Am I looking at an outdated version of this YouTube? I am, and this is this is not our live thing. Okay, hold on, sorry. Okay, there we go. Everything's terrible, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, right. All right. So we're streaming, except for apparently not my certain things. It doesn't matter. We're in.
We're not streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on YouTube. Hey, guys, we're here to talk about Ghosts of Yotei. Blake and I both platinumed the game.
But we're not jumping straight just...
and thoughts on it.
But that's not what we're jumping into. We never start with, the main topic.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get you off of talking about the issues. So let's talk about news. Blake has one thing he'd like to share.
Well, first, I want to finish my good news. Because I've been cut off.
Yes, your good news. So sorry. Start over because of everything.
Yes, my computer had an overheating issue again, and every time I played Repo or Peak with my dear friend Emily, for some reason, at some point, my computer would crash and it would just completely shut down, and my CPU would be at 95 degrees Celsius, which, if you don't know, is very, very hot. Way too hot. It's a lot. It is way too much. Here's the good news, is that essentially... the bad news is I took it to somebody and they couldn't fix it, and they made my computer significantly slower to keep it from overheating. And I'm like, this is not working great. Why is this not working great?
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. And so I'm like, I'm going to actually dig around and see if I can figure this out. And I found out that even though my water pump, the thing that keeps the thing cool, is connected and running, the computer itself is not controlling how much is flowing, and not enough water was flowing back and forth. And so once I turned that on, crazy. I ran Peak today, and it was like, I'm going to stay cool and chill the entire time.
It wasn't a million degrees from running a very small indie game.
It did not peak at 75, haha, pun intended.
That was funny, get it?
It did not peak past 75 degrees C, which is sweet spot. Now, granted, Peak and Repo, I learned today, are very CPU-intensive games, meaning they don't use my GPU as much as my CPU. But hey, they work now, and I'm happy about it, and I can be happy and get by at this point. So that's the good news. And now on to the gaming news of the day. The only piece of gaming news, and it's multiple pieces connected into one.
Not the only piece of gaming news. I have gaming news. Stop ignoring my gaming news because
my only piece. I said my only piece.
No, you did not say my. Hey, check the playback. He said the only piece of gaming news.
Oh God. Oh dear God. You're right. Let's just quit forever and never come back.
Okay, I'm sorry. Share your gaming news.
Well, for one, Costco has come out and announced that they will no longer be selling Xbox products anymore. Period. Point blank period. Essentially, they weren't selling, and it was just kind of pointless at this point. And then rumors started circulating around, and these have been so far debunked by Microsoft, but multiple store employees at both Target and Walmart were also saying they were eventually getting rid of Xbox stock altogether as well. And so, could this be the end for Microsoft? Lord knows.
I don't know. So again, I think the huge thing for Microsoft is Game Pass still. And maybe digital games. I mean, even when I go to like places to buy video games like in person, unless I'm going to like a GameStop or something, they don't have a wide variety. Like they usually have like sometimes 3, 4 games in stock. And I'm not just talking about Xbox, I'm talking about PlayStation, I'm talking about Switch. Like they usually don't have a big variety of games in hand.
Yeah. So but without consoles, they're not going to have the consoles that most people to this day, well, though it's shifting to PC, most people still are going to prefer to play Game Pass on a console anyways, right?
Sure.
So get rid of that.
I mean, most people I know who have Game Pass usually actually have it on PC because they don't buy an Xbox. They have a PC, so they buy Game Pass on their PC.
Here's what I think Xbox should do at this point is shut down the consoles, port all their stuff to PlayStation. Everything's already on PC, but port everything to PlayStation and I guess Nintendo if you want. And just go straight software. And stop buying studios and then closing them down 6 months later. My God.
That would be a great place to start. If anything, this to me just screams more so that like physical media is becoming less of a big deal to the fact that like other places that are not strictly game sellers like a Best Buy or a GameStop don't see as much return in selling physical games. And so they don't feel the need to stock it as much. It's probably starting with Xbox because most people don't have an Xbox as much as people have PlayStations or Switches. Mm-hmm. And people who do have Xboxes probably have Game Pass or they have digital games. So they're probably the ones that sell the least.
Well, Xbox is still not done being under fire for more bullshit they did. Because this is it's like I said, it's slightly different story, but it's still connected. The Xbox Ally X and Xbox Ally have both come out. Both at prices at $500 and $1,000.
What is the Ally?
That's the handheld. Their little handheld, Windows handheld thing. Right. Now, they keep promoting this as a handheld Xbox. It's not. It's another handheld gaming PC. Just kind of like they partnered with a company that already makes handheld gaming PCs and put an Xbox skin on it. It truly makes no sense to me, but I digress. I'm not going to get into the details of that. Here's the main issue. If I buy a game on Xbox, not Game Pass related, if I were to purchase Halo 3 on Xbox, I can play it on my Xbox. However, I cannot play it on my Ally X because I didn't buy the PC version, and you have to purchase the PC version to work there. Yep. So is it more so proving my point? This is not a handheld Xbox console. This is a handheld PC console with a giant green X on it.
Do you know why people like the Switch? Because you can play a game in handheld mode and then go home and put it on your TV. Mm-hmm. They don't buy the Switch. God, that's so bad. That's so bad to be like, not only do you have to buy the separate console, but then you have to buy the games separately as well.
Yeah. Now, Game Pass is the exception, obviously. Like, if you have Game Pass, you download things from Game Pass, it's going to download to your Ally X, it's going to be fine. Like, it's whatever, your saved data should transfer. But
sure. But what if you have an Xbox already and you're buying games for the Xbox? Mm-hmm. Why should I then have to buy you? Like, in my mind, the money that you're paying for the console should give you the right to have it on both.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're paying a significant amount of money. It's not a small sum. It's a lot.
$70 is a lot of bucks.
So why is it not on both?
Exactly. And I hate praising Nintendo here. I hate touting them for this. But they have, like, done something good in regards to something like this. So with Pokemon Legends ZA, for example, right? If I buy the Switch 1 version, they had the Switch 1 and Switch 2 version came out. If I buy the Switch 1 version, it will work on my Switch 1 and my Switch 2, right? If I buy the Switch 2 version, it has 2 versions of the game on there. It has the Switch 1 version on there, and I just have to put it in my Switch 1 and it will still boot and run, right? Which Thank you, Nintendo, for not screwing me over there. But like, if they can do that, if they can do that bare minimum, but Xbox continuously says, "There's my foot again," and shoots it again. And this all started with the Xbox One back in 2014 with the DRM bullshit. It's just going to be another, they're just continuously going downhill. I see this continuously getting worse before it gets better. And I don't think they're learning their lesson that the anti-consumer part of what they're doing is not helpful.
Seeing Nintendo get away with a lot, and so they're like, well, we can get away with that too, and that doesn't necessarily translate. The things that Nintendo can get away with is not necessarily things that other companies can get away with.
And the only reason Nintendo can get away with it is because they have the games to back it up, right? And Xbox,
for the most part,
Xbox no
you
longer
right now. If they have the games to back it up, I would tell you no.
No,
I don't think they do.
They don't.
But
3 years ago, maybe, when we got Tears of the Kingdom and the Mario and all that. But, like, no, right now they don't. But Xbox, Halo hasn't been good since Halo 3 in 2007, 2008. Gears of War hasn't been good. I can't name a single Xbox IP that is worth it.
Or we're talking about Microsoft in general, because they did just have, like, obviously, Starfield was not the success people thought it was going to be. Nope. And then, is that Indiana Jones game out? Did people like it?
It is out. It came out, Indiana Jones came out, like, November of last year. It was, like, right after the cutoff for Game of the Year. And people adored it.
People like it?
People loved it. But here's the problem. That also released on PlayStation.
Yeah, I was planning on playing that at some point.
Yeah, I also am, along with the 007 game coming out.
It looks like they got pretty good scores, actually.
Right, but if you multi-release it, yes, it is an Xbox game studio, but if you multi-release it that soon, I'm not going to associate it with Xbox. I'm going to associate
I'm not going to associate it necessarily with Xbox, but it's still like an IP.
Yes, technically. But no, it did very, very well. People adored that game. People think it's great. It's on my list, but it is not high enough on my list to get it till it's on sale. So, that's my new. Yeah, that's my news. I was an Xbox fan during the 360 days, slightly. I had an Xbox 360 with my PS3, and I did play my 360 more, and then after that, it just was all downhill. And I bought an Xbox One, hated it, returned it or sold it like 6 months later, and just played my PS4 at that point. So I haven't not thought about buying an Xbox, and now that the price has gone up from $500 to $650 for a Series X, I have no desire to buy one.
And why would you?
There's no point.
I had an Xbox 360 back in the day to play Assassin's Creed on. That was a hand-me-down from my brother-in-law. And I never played another Xbox after.
This is going to embarrass me a little bit, but I don't care. The only reason I got an Xbox 360 was back then when I did watch the very little anime I did, and it was anything that was on Toonami. I watched a lot of Naruto, and they had like weirdly console specific games, and there was one on the 360 that was not going anywhere else. And I'm like, well, that's a reason. And then I played a lot more on it. I think that's where I originally played the Deadpool game and all that. But yeah, that's the only reason I got it.
I respect that. I wish you were still an anime fan. I wish you didn't hate anime.
I don't hate it. I just struggle sitting and watching things. I don't do well. You should see me in a movie theater. It's I'm watching the movie, but I fidget. I fidget a lot.
I love going to the movies. Okay. We have to move on because I want to talk about Go See Yotei. But first, I have to talk about Dreamlight Valley.
I'm going to eat fries while you do this.
I'm
not going to eat fries while you do this.
Dreamlight Valley had their showcase yesterday, their annual showcase, and I was telling Blake that it's a really good thing we beat Ghost of Yotei, or I only had one mission left of it because I wasn't going to care about anything else after this. So basically, Dreamlight Valley, if you guys don't know, was one of my favorite games of the last few years. It's a very Animal Crossing-like cozy sim game. And they just had their annual showcase stream, and I'm not sure anybody but me cares about this. But they announced the next DLC, which is Wish Blossom Ranch. And it's going to have Snow White, Tinkerbell, Tigger. I'm super excited for Winnie the Pooh characters to come. And Cruella, which is a weird addition. But they're also bringing horses to the game, and you can ride horses and do things with horses now. And then Cinderella comes in December. I'm just very excited. It's a really good time to be me when it comes to my video games that I'm playing. It's a fantastic time. That's my news.
I
I guess I should include the fact that it drops on November 19th. The DLC drops November 19th. The next update comes out December 10th.
oh
So there's a lot going
that's
on.
that's perfect. That means when I visit you, you will not be distracted by it and say, "No, can't see you. I gotta Dreamlight Valley."
It's not great though because my best friend's birthday is November 20th. So I have other commitments for that time
You
period.
keep forgetting my birthday's in December, but okay.
December 17th, buddy. I
That
got it
is
down.
correct. That is the day. Don't say the year. Don't dox me like that, though.
I won't say the year. I'll leave
Yeah.
you be.
I'm old.
So yeah, I'm very excited. I know you don't care, Blake, because you said the only way you get back into Dreamlight Valley is if they brought Emperor's New Groove back.
I could jump into another cozy game after playing Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons. I kind of have a little bit of an itch to jump back, but I haven't yet. So.
Again, the water is great.
Well, I need to.
I love it here.
If I do, it's not starting until January when I gotta get through this backlog, man. And I got one more review to do this year, which hopefully will be next week. Hopefully.
Well, we are at the halfway mark, so we should talk about Ghost of
We're
Yotei.
not really at the halfway mark. We didn't start.
We
till
just start
10
late. Yeah.
It's fine. We have plenty to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last week, if you were here last week, Blake and I talked about kind of the mechanics and the gameplay and the world around Ghost of Yotei. This one is going to be a very story-specific review. We might delve into other things that come to mind. But we're going to be delving into spoilers a lot. So if you have not beat Ghost of Yotei, you haven't played Ghost of Yotei, or you're wary of spoilers, now's the time to click away. We love you. Come back in a few weeks after you've beaten the game. If you want to hear our review of what we think of the game without spoilers, you can watch our episode from last week. But this is going to be very focused on the game and the story, and we're just going to spoil the crap out of everything because we have opinions.
And shout out that guy at GameStop today who subscribed to us on YouTube after talking about Ghost of Yotei and my podcast and blah, 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 blah. That happened today. Shout out that dude. I didn't get your name, but that was really cool. You? Sorry.
We appreciate it. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, dude. Cool. Do we want to talk, like, how do we want to break this down? Because there are some more gameplay stuff I want to tie into it because I think we got to tie in a nice package, but also we got to talk about the story stuff.
So I'm just going to start by giving a quick breakdown. I think I did this for the overall thing last week, but I'll do it this week again, just talking about what the general story is so we can get into it a little deeper. Basically, for those of you who don't know, Ghost of Yotei is the sequel, but not really sequel, just kind of exists in the same world, to Ghost of Tsushima by Sucker Punch. And the story here focuses on the island of Hokkaido, which is the northern island of Japan, and this time known as Ezo. And it focuses on our main character, Atsu, whose family was murdered when she was a child by a man named Saito, and the group that he leads called the Yotei 6. So at that point, Atsu goes down to the south to fight, and when we start the game, she has returned to Hokkaido, or Ezo, with the intent of killing off the Yotei 6 to get revenge for her family, at which point she plans on ending her own life. And this is all complicated by the fact that during her time away, the Yotei 6 and Saito himself have become very powerful figures who have basically started a war on the island to try to take it over and take power away from the shogun of Japan. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where we start the game, is Atsu starting her revenge journey. That's the general plot. So now Blake and I are going to talk about what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's I'm going to kind of reiterate some of the things I said last week first. Gameplay.
Go for it.
Yeah. I want to talk about initially, like, gameplay wise, because we're not going to go super into gameplay wise. Just a reminder, gameplay wise, I think the game it's phenomenal. It doesn't change a lot from Tsushima, but it adds like just the right amount. Like, it's like, hey, what we did before was good. We're going to add a little bit to make it like a little bit better, like the throwing the weapons mechanics, the different types of weapons, etc. I really enjoyed all that, and I need to make that abundantly clear.
He's saying that because he wants to tell you how much he liked this game before he delves into how much he didn't like the story.
Very specific things.
You wanted to like start off on a Podstation note before you just like talked about how bad the story was.
Here's I think where we slightly differ. I don't think that the story overall was bad, but I don't think it was good. I think it was just very basic and generic, and it was very predictable. I think the only thing I really didn't predict, here's a big spoiler, was Jubei being alive. But as soon as we met the kitsune, the girl, and I kind of like, she's tied to them in some way, and then they have revealed she was. And then you and I both predicted Jubei's death at the end of the game. Spoilers. And we're both, you text me. As soon as you text me, I'm like, we both knew. Like, we both knew something just fucked up was gonna happen.
Well, so if listener or watcher, you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, Blake and I also had heavy suspects on that because Tsushima killed a lot of the characters. It had a lot of very gut-wrenching deaths. It was not shy about that. And up until that point, 0 people that we liked had died. So it was coming. I knew it was coming.
I'm just happy that Kiku didn't die, because I had a small, like, they're going to kill the kid, aren't they? And they did not. They did not kill the kid. So...
I really had that fear, but mostly because they pretty much were... They were pretty intense right off the bat that Kiku was supposed to represent Atsu. Like, if Atsu had gone down a different path. Like, if her parents hadn't been killed, Kiku was supposed to be the person Atsu could have been, which is why... I'll get into that later, but...
Yeah. I think, overall, and how this could have been better, because I think it could have been keeping the premise, because the premise itself isn't bad. The premise itself, like, while it's been done before, it's not a bad premise. I mean, Assassin's Creed Shadows did it as well. I mean, obviously they weren't copying each other. We already talked about this last time.
Yeah, we might. I just want to say, people who are listening or watching, we might compare Shadows and Yotei here because they had similar plot lines. We are not shading either one of these games. No. I know Blake didn't like Shadows as much as I did. I absolutely adored Shadows, and I really adored this game as well. So it's kind of hard not to compare them, but we're not here to shit on either.
Weirdly enough, I think I'm giving them similar scores, but for different reasons, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so what I think they could have done... let's talk about what they did right, story-wise. What they did do right... Huh?
What did you like? What hit you?
One, I talked to Emily about this yesterday. I do enjoy how Sucker Punch is able to, like, convey a scene, and things are very cinematic. So even though I kind of predicted how this was going to happen, like the beat itself, I still enjoyed watching it unfold and how they put it together. Like, this whole game felt like I was playing a movie, and then I got to watch movie scenes.
Oh. Yeah. We should add to this explanation for people listening is that Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei are both intentionally cinematic to the point that they are trying to mimic old samurai films. That's kind of the intention with it. There's actually an option to play in Kurosawa mode, which is a black and white version to, again, more closely mimic those old samurai films. So a lot of it is meant to play like a movie. And in that sense, you can't skip cutscenes. You can't fast forward through dialogue.
You can skip cutscenes if you want.
Oh, God. Really?
I did, because I had one game crash, and it was my fault. And I had to restart, and it put me back in 20 minutes.
Beginning of like a duel, like that, like long.
No. Okay. So you can't skip all cutscenes. It's very specific ones that are like they're pre-rendered cutscenes. Any pre-rendered cutscene you can skip, essentially.
So to add more context to this, there's just a lot of cinematic things in this game that they work really hard to make cinematic. They're spread throughout the world. One of the side quests that you can do is you can duel other people, and every time you duel someone or you have like a big boss fight, you get this really like 45 long second thing of
45 long second
45-second long. As I said it, I was like, that's wrong, but like my brain couldn't really correct it in that moment.
Anywho, continue.
It's just a long clip of basically you drawing your sword and them drawing their sword, and you look at your eyes, and then you look at their eyes, and it's all really slow and tense. And so the Sucker Punch intentionally throughout the entirety of this game is trying to make it feel like a movie. It's trying to build the cinematography. Every time you're on your horse, this actually kind of did drive me nuts. A lot of the times when you're on your horse, it will pan the camera for like the most cinematic shot of you riding through this like field, and it was pretty, but also it drove me nuts because I couldn't really see where I was going.
What they in kind of adding on to that, I do like not the limited HUD, because one, the HUD only like pops up if it like has to, like if you're in a fight or something. It's the only time you really see the HUD. or any type of like indicator that you have to do something specific. But for the most part, there is no HUD. There's no things. It truly feels like an immersive world because I'm not seeing press X to do this all the time, right? It's only when it has to.
Time you climb, if you take like a 0.03%
Yes, true.
second break from climbing, it's like, use L. You can do it. Use L to climb. I believe in you. You gotta use the L button.
Yeah. But back into like the things I like. Back into the things that captivate, and then we'll dive into the things Emily likes.
I just want people to have the context that like it is intentionally cinematic. Like its whole thing is making the story feel as close to a movie as possible.
Yeah. I do really, like I said, I enjoy how well they put it together because I think you can have that idea of making something feel like a movie and cinematic and fail badly. I think they put a lot of love and care into both Tsushima and this one because I had that same feeling of Tsushima. I said, I know, I slipped up my word there. You know what? We're even now. We're even.
Great.
I also, weirdly enough, a lot of the side tales, like you have multiple different mission types. You have bounties and such like that, but there are these side tales, essentially like legends, things of myth that you can discover. Those side tales were the most interesting part of the game to me. One of them, big spoiler alert, towards the end of the game, is related to Jin Sakai, and you see, because you know at the end of Ghost of Tsushima, he exiles himself up to Ezo, right, to be away from everybody, and you go see this beautiful house that now it's falling apart, but you see this beautiful house that he's been staying in. You get his sword, this beautiful. It is a wonderful side tale. Yeah,
you get a haiku. It is very good. I kind of waited the whole game to be like, are we gonna get references? And we kind of didn't. We got like one quick dialogue reference to like, oh yeah, they said some samurai poisoned like 200 Mongols with wolfsbane, but we don't really believe that. And obviously that's a thing that happens in Ghost of Tsushima. But like right at the end of the game, like right near the end of the gameplay, you get this big tale about it. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was waiting whole game for this.
I knew Sucker Punch was going to throw in. They always throw in references. They did in Ghost of Tsushima 2 with Infamous and with Sly Cooper. They did it here. You see murals of both Infamous. One of them I didn't find. Emily found it and sent to me. Was a big Infamous reference.
Because it was at a shrine, or like one of the shrines like you climb the mountain climbs.
I didn't see that big one. I only saw the small one, and I think that's a Sly Cooper reference. If I have to guess what that smaller one was.
There was one shrine where you essentially like there was at the base of the shrine there was a note that said like collect the flowers or something, and then you like when you got to the shrine there was a spot to slide down, and you like ended up at this pool of water with a waterfall, and there were flowers, and around the corner was the really big Infamous one, I think it was.
I just happened to miss it. Granted, this world is very big, and there was a mini game that Emily and I both just happened to miss. We both missed it.
It was fair. The spot that it was in was like, the map is large, but it's very segmented. It is not like it's not like a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom where it's one all connected. It's very specific segmented areas, and then just like little paths connecting all of those areas. And this minigame was in like one of those paths where you weren't really looking for stuff because it was kind of just like a little hallway to the next area.
Yeah. Onward to more I like. Pretty much any of the side content really is what I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed finding all the fox dens. I enjoyed finding the wolf den and naming my. What did you name your wolf? You never told me.
Kage.
Yes, we named the horse the same thing. We named our wolf the same thing.
High
five. Okay. We did the same for Tsushima, though I named it and then you just told me you did the same thing. But it was only the horse, and you knew I wasn't going to pick anything that wasn't Sora.
That one was an easy win because the main options for the horse was literally Sora. What were we gonna do if not Sora?
Anywho, I really enjoyed the bounties. Some of the bounties had really interesting backstories. Some of them were pretty just plain. You find a guy and you kill him, but some of them like very, very interesting. The last bounty I did, actually, you had to do a specific hard to find side quest before you could even trigger it, which was Iron Kumbe.
Chuta?
Oh yeah, Iron Cheetah.
Was it the guy with the two samurai were in the den? The den?
Yep. See, I didn't find those two samurai in the den.
Okay.
The only reason I figured out which one I was missing is because I was looking through a list of like, these are the rewards you get with it. I'm like, okay, which item am I missing? And that's how I put it together. Like, that was a very interesting one. A lot of the bounties are interesting. The paintings, even though they're very short and they're like the haikus, except you're drawing on your gamepad, they were interesting. But then I get to the main... Huh?
They were fine.
I like looking at pretty pictures. Damn you.
Looking at pretty pictures, but I kind of just got sick of swiping on things on my touchpad. Like,
She did text me.
I kind of preferred Shadow's approach of like you have to sneak up on the scene to be able to like view it. I don't know. That gameplay was more interesting, but I just like sneaking.
She did text me and said, "Hey, if I have to build one more fire, I'm going to lose it." Before I told her, "You can skip that," you know. Turns out there is something guarding that part of her screen on the TV that says "Hold X to skip."
So like I have a large TV, but it's right under my TV is my dresser, and I have like a pot of flowers, like a vase of flowers, and they cover the very bottom right of my screen. And so I never saw that I could skip it. And every time somebody was like, build me a fire, I was like, I'd rather die. I'd rather turn this game off. And like, to kind of give context to people who are listening to describe it, you basically have to like aim with your left controller stick where you want the fire to go. And then you have to swipe up on the touchpad to make the spark happen with the flint rock. And then you have to hit the right trigger button to like blow air onto it to build it. And you have to do that multiple times. It's just an awful, terrible, terrible process. The first time I did it, you have to also move the left stick and you also have to press the right trigger.
I did. You're behind,
and you
remember?
have to do multiple things. Guys, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's obnoxious. And like, no matter what he's saying or how like he's demonstrating how easy it is, he knows it's obnoxious because he's skipped them all.
No, it is obnoxious. I didn't skip them all. Like what I would do is I would start it, and if they started talking to dialogue, I would finish it so I could hear the dialogue. If they were not talking at all, I'm like, okay, holding X to skip. Do not care enough. Like that was my rule.
They made me so mad.
Yeah. It was fun novelty at first, and then it got obnoxious and boring. And I'm like, why are we doing this? I don't need to do this every 5 seconds.
Fire?
And I think the thing that I didn't do it until the last day I played, which was I guess he's technically the super boss. I can't remember his name. He's on top of Mount Yotei, and you have to kill.
Oh, not Tetsu. It's close to Tetsu.
I can't remember his name,
but Tatsu?
It's longer than that, I think.
No, it's like Tatsu the Unbeatable. It's something like what is it?
We're gonna find out. We're gonna do this. I'm going to look at my trophy list.
Takezo.
Okay, yeah. That fight was the only fight I really struggled in, other than the bears. Like he was rough. He was one-shotting me.
Struggled with. I tried that fight maybe halfway through the game, maybe a little earlier, and I struggled with it. And then I realized half of the reason I was dying was because I was getting cold and he was doing ice damage to me as well.
Yep.
And so my health bar was getting down from the ice, so I changed into the warm costume, and then I beat him.
Oh, I did something completely different. I put on casual mode for that to finish that fight, and then put it back on easy.
You know what? I respect you, bud, but I promise if you had just put on the warm outfit, you would have done a lot better. You can also change your charms.
Yeah.
And there's a charm that widens the perfect parry window, and he's really
I had that on.
Also, you had to make sure you're using the technique he taught you. That's the big win.
Yeah, which I did that as well.
Basically, I would just wait for him to attack and then parry.
Regardless, that whole story segment and that whole fight, and then watching him get what he wants and finally be defeated and die, it was genuinely the better story. It was better than the main story, which I'll talk more about the main story later. But I think the main thing is that I like with the main story is just how it was how it was presented versus what it was.
You
The
like the
present,
cinematics of it,
yeah, I
not
like
necessarily the story itself.
the cinematics, the set pieces, just how it looks overall, and even just the lines of dialogue to convey how it was all put together versus what it actually represented. Like the
Yeah.
voice acting I liked, except for God damn it, Sucker Punch
The
and
children.
Ubisoft. The children are not need to be played by adults. Hire
Yeah,
children.
this is a problem. Blake and I also had this problem with Assassin's Creed Shadows, is that they have all these kids, and then the kids are voiced by adults. And sometimes people can pull it off. Obviously, some of our like most beloved childhood characters have been played by adults.
Yes.
Tara Strong's out there keeping the world moving around. But they sounded so bad. They sounded really. I actually could not take a single moment that child Atsu had going on seriously, because I was like, you sound.
Erica, I
Wow.
usually could not do.
Is it me? Did she
Huh?
look a little like alienish, like young Atsu?
Oh yes, absolutely.
She looked a little wonky. She sounded a little wonky, and I was like, you're a little weird. You're a
Yeah.
little funky.
But yeah, I love the cinematics. I love the set pieces. I love how it was put together. I did actually like the characters, but it was just the main story. Like the story itself is the only thing I didn't even hate. It was just meh. It was just fine and predictable. Your turn. And then I'll go into the things I don't like after she says what she likes.
I mean, I guess if we're just going to talk about the things that we like and not specifically our whole thoughts, most of what I liked is very similar to what you said. I liked the cinematics of it. I liked the presentation of the story. I liked the way it felt a lot of the time. I did like a lot of the side quests. They did get a little repetitive for me. I think maybe Blake disagrees here. A lot of it is just fighting 50 people. Every kind of quest that you do boils down to, the Oni Raiders are here. Saito's people are here. The people are here. And then you fight 50 people. And then they'll be like, another group of people arrived after this group of people. And then you fight 50 more people.
No,
And
I'm with you 100% on that. Like, I agree 100%. Like, the repetitiveness just got a little too much with those things. The ones where I didn't have to, the few side quests where I didn't have to fight and I just had to find this dude, or anything I did for the Ainu, which did not require fighting. I'm like, oh, this is a nice change of pace. But.
Exactly. I like the different side quests. There's a whole main quest actually where you have to kind of do stealth, or ones that like depend more on stealth. And I enjoyed those. I liked when they mixed it up because they did it so rarely. That even like by the time I got to the final quest, I remember like a big memory for me was doing the final quest and sitting there being like, oh, come on. Like
I have to do more sneaking. There was 3 sections.
How do you run?
Yeah, there were 3 sections we had to get through before we got out of there, before we even looked at, fighting Saito.
Yeah, there were like 3 sections of enemies, which I get it, but also they were like trying to rush out of this fort, and they were like, just keep moving. And I was like, I'll keep moving. And then they'd be like, oh, we made it to the end. Time to kill everyone we just ran past. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So that by the end of the game, I was pretty burnt out. And it was just a shame because I think the fighting mechanic in this game is one of the stronger components this game has. I think it's really fun. It's really well done. It's really well built. It's just a shame that they didn't spice it up a little bit more throughout the game, so that by the time I got to the end, I wasn't like so sick of fighting people.
I just thought of something I didn't think about this entire time. One inconsistency. We had to take a boat to get to Saito's fortress that was hitting in a mountain that you had to climb to get to. How the fuck did we ride a horse to get out of there?
I'm assuming what happened was when she went in originally, she snuck up a different path of the mountain. Obviously, we see her climb the mountain. I'm assuming there's a road leading out of the main gate down from the mountain back to the river. So I'm assuming we see them go out of the main gate. So I'm assuming they took the road down the mountain back to the water.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that until just now, but I'm just like, very well explained.
Yeah, there's a lot you have to like piece together like that. So I liked the cinematography of it all. It's hot. Honestly, I'm struggling. I didn't really connect with. I'll talk more about my dislikes later. There's not much else that the story brought me. The side content a lot of the time sparkled more than the main content. There were a few characters that kind of I was like, oh, but there wasn't anyone I was truly like, I'm with you, except for maybe Jubei.
Oh, I love Jubei.
Jubei and Kiku were the only two that I was kind of like,
Not the Kitsune girl?
I liked her well enough.
I can't
She was
remember her name.
fine. She didn't do that much for me. I liked what she represented. I liked her story. But she herself, after like her whole story was on, I was like, you're fine. Like I wasn't like, oh, I love you so much. You're so great. She wasn't funny. She wasn't, I don't know. She was just fine.
She likes an honorable man. She likes a man in uniform. Jubei.
I do. I honestly, that's why I love Jin Sakai so much, was I just am always going to root for a character who is just pure of heart and is like, I just want to protect people and make the world a better place. And Jin did that, and I was always with Jin on that one. And
he even sacrificed his honor to do it.
Yuna does, and the thing is, like, Jin throughout his story learns how to sacrifice honor because honor is less important to him than protecting the people that he's protecting, than pushing the Mongols out of his home, than saving like the innocents. And so he, in that sense, sacrifices his own honor and his own duty and his own sense of self to protect the masses. And not a single character in this game felt like they were ever thinking about really protecting anybody.
No.
Other than like themselves, except for maybe Jubei, who's like, I like my friends, I like my clan, and she's like, your clan is stupid. I like being a part of it. He's like, I like being a samurai, and she's like, samurai, stupid. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
Jubei is a good boy. And
I
Kiku.
don't have a lot of positives. That's making it sound like I didn't like the game. Overall, I had such a great time exploring this world and finding all the different things in it, and it's just so beautiful and so great to play through. The story did not really move me much, except for when Jubei died.
I think this
I even knew it was coming. I was still like, damn.
I think this is the perfect example of this game is this perfect example of while story is important to both of us, it's not everything, and this game succeeded in all other areas, making it still a pretty decent to enjoy an enjoyable experience.
Enjoyable experience, yeah. There was a lot I wish it had done differently, and we'll talk about that when we talk about our negatives, but it still was a very enjoyable experience. It's just not like, it's not Ghost of Tsushima. It's just not.
It's not.
And it's not. It was hard to live up to that game because Blake and I both put it on like our top 10 games of all time at one point, but it's still like a fun game in its own right. It still has some really good content, and I enjoyed playing through it.
I'm considering getting the PS.
Let's talk about the negative.
Oh, well, I was going to say I'm considering getting the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima and just replaying and replatinuming Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5.
Actually, and started playing Ghost of Tsushima before Ghost of Yotei came out, and I couldn't get into it because I was like, I got other things going on. Disney Dreamlight Valley sitting right there. And then I was playing Ghost of Yotei, and they were like talking about Jin Sakai. I was like, oh, I gotta go back to Tsushima. Like, I want to play as this dude again. Maybe I just got so sick of Atsu, but every time they like dangled a little piece of Jin in front of me, I was like, oh, my boy.
She also, talking about other things she has to do, she also has like a stack of 6 of my games right now. One of them I'm getting back in a few weeks, but.
Which one?
13 Sentinels. You said you weren't going to play anymore, you're going to watch cutscenes.
Oh, right. I was like, I haven't beaten Bioshock yet.
I know. Okay. I'll jump into negatives. I don't really want to. I mean, I've really only talked about the main negative is that the story was predictable, but this is why I think it could have been great and why the premise wasn't bad and could have been done different. This is what I would have liked to see. I think that the whole idea is that Atsu is doing a reverse Jin, where Jin Sakai is learning, hey, I have this honor, but that's not going to save us. I need to do these things to save my people, and honor doesn't matter if I can save all these lives. Atsu is learning going the other way. Like, revenge is going to get her and everybody she loves killed, and she needs to reserve herself more and tone down a bit, etc. And they put that, or else other people will go in danger, and they waited way too long to introduce that whole segment. Like, Chapter 1... This game I beat in like 50 hours. I think it was like 48 point whatever hours. Chapter 1 was 40 of those hours.
It was the pacing for this game was ridiculous.
Yes.
It was, quite frankly, was just ridiculous.
Yeah, chapter 1 was 40 of those hours, and it wasn't until the end of chapter 2, where I hit hour like 45, 46, that Atsu's like, I'm so sorry, I screwed up. I let revenge get to me. We're just going to talk about it for a very short segment of time and not see a long drawn out. With Jin Sakai, it was him struggling with that idea of becoming dishonorable.
Decline.
Right. With Atsu, it was I made one mistake and now I'm better. And then Jubei saying, I wish I could believe that. And then he sees, and then they run away, and then Jubei comes back to help, and then he gets stabbed. And it's just like, we don't see the character development or growth in Atsu, except for it wasn't enough time. And they should have kind of pushed it out a lot more than they did. We got subtle hints here and there, but it wasn't really done well, the way they kind of put that together. I think, once again, I will never say that this is a bad story. I just think it was mid, but had potential to do better, making it disappointing that it wasn't better. Because I knew what they were trying to do, and they just executed poorly.
A lot of things that like were almost contradictory to me that made me mad, I think. So can I speak for a brief moment about my negatives?
I mean, yeah, I'm done.
Sure. Okay. So my big thing for this one was, obviously this is a story about revenge. And revenge you can take in a couple different ways, but I think this one was all about how revenge is secular and right, like you get your revenge, but by getting your revenge you traumatize somebody else who's going to then want revenge on you, right? And it never ends. At what point does it stop? Atsu is trying to get revenge for a man who murdered her family. But the man who murdered her family, one of the people who partook in it, their child died because of Atsu's father. So they were getting revenge on Atsu's father, right? So it's just all about how this revenge moves from one person to the next and it never stops. And it's supposed to be about Atsu leaving this cycle of revenge and stopping it in its tracks and saying, no more, we stop it here.
Yeah.
This has been pretty well done recently, most notably by The Last of Us 2. It did not work for me mostly because these were not everyday people who were in this terrible world trying to get revenge on one another. It wasn't a sense of, like, for example, The Last of Us 2, where it's Ellie, and I think her name is Abby.
Yes, that's her
Abigail?
name. It's Abby.
And they're just two everyday people who have been caught up in these things and they're at war with one another. This is not that. Even if you take away Atsu's revenge and her desire for revenge, the Yotei 6 are horrific, horrible people who are murdering innocents. They're burning villages. Like, throughout the game impresses upon you time after time the most gruesome and horrific things that the Yotei 6 are doing. They're actually in a war right now. Like, the last area of the game you go to is the Yotei 6 basically conquering this land, burning everything down, killing all the, like, villagers inside of it, having fun doing it, helping people starve, stealing their food. They're horrible people. And so it's not just Atsu after these people. Atsu is, like, saving this, like, world by doing this. And at the same time, even the people who are criticizing her for revenge, such as Jubei, are part of the samurai. And what are the samurai doing? They're also hunting the Yotei 6. So they're all like, oh, Atsu, you gotta give it up. You gotta stop searching for revenge. Okay, you still gotta kill Lord Saito at the end of this. Somebody's gotta kill him. And somebody is going to kill him, or he's going to kill everybody else and then have power, and he's going to kill Clan Matsumae, which is Jubei's clan, he's working really hard to stop from happening. So it felt hypocritical. It didn't feel like it worked because of who these people were. And at one point, we kind of see Atsu try to stop the cycle of revenge. She finds the person she's supposed to hunt down, and instead of killing him, she says, work with me, like, let's understand one another. We've both suffered. We've both been, you can change. You can become a better person. And they end up working together. She forgives him, quote unquote, and he goes off to start a new life. The dude is one of the worst humans that could possibly have gotten that, like, gift of forgiveness. She's sent a murderer, like, just an awful human being, someone who murdered and pillaged and raped for fun. And was like...
And was a drunkard.
Yeah, he tried to say he and Atsu are the same because his sister died because of Atsu's father, so they both hurt each other. And if that had been the end of it, I would have been like, yeah, you both have been through something. But he continued to murder and kill people for the fun of it. They're not the same. So it just,
Nope.
the point they were trying to drill home fell flat. And I feel like she did a good enough job of forgiveness when she forgave. So essentially, watch her. She's trying to hunt down these 6 people. And she finds out, she makes an ally at one point in the game. And she realizes pretty significantly into the story with this ally that the ally is actually one of the people she was intending to hunt. And the ally had given up that title and reformed themselves and changed and was now helping her hunt down the person who replaced her. Mm-hmm. And so she has to learn how to let that go and forgive this character. And she does. And they end up working together throughout the rest of the game. They end up becoming really close allies. They have this strong loyalty to one another. So for me, the message of forgive was already there and it was already done successfully before they brought. So, I don't know. There was just a lot of contradictory where people are like, you gotta let it go, Atsu. But at the same time, Atsu, we still have to kill those people, Atsu. Who's gonna kill the people, Atsu? So yeah, the story, it did not work for me. There were certain aspects to it I liked. Atsu finds out she has a niece partway through the game. And obviously, like I kind of hinted at earlier, this niece was supposed to be a reflection of Atsu and who she was. This niece does not she's never had anything bad really happen to her in her entire life. And Atsu kind of has this moment where she's like, oh, could I have been like this girl if my family hadn't been killed? And then 3/4 of the way through the game, her father is kidnapped and she becomes angry. She starts to have this desire for revenge. She starts to let this grief fuel her anger. And Atsu sees this girl becoming her. And she kind of tries to stop that. And at the end of the game, when her father does die, she doesn't look at the girl and say, let's go kill him. She looks at her niece and instead she sees herself. And instead of saying, let's go kill him, she walks up to her younger self and she hugs her. And she says it's going to be okay. Basically providing for her niece what nobody provided for her, which was comfort and love to get through the grief.
That reminds me of, speaking of Kiku, and I thought about this earlier today, and then I forgot to mention it, and maybe I just missed it when playing. Did they explain what happened to the mother?
They did. At one point when they're running through the temple, they're doing something. They're doing one of the side quests with Kiku. He mentions that she got sick when she was pregnant or right after she gave birth, and then she passed away not long after.
That's right. I think it was such a short little segment that I just exited my brain.
It was like a short little snippet, and they never really, I kind of want to explore more, like, who was this lady? Did you love her? Like, was she, like, I don't know. But certain characters I definitely liked. I liked Jubei. Atsu sometimes pisses me off, but it is what it is. I think
she's designed to piss you off, though. Like, I think that's, like, the intent.
I think she is. I think she's supposed to be this, like, kind of snarky, kind of darker character. And I just really stick with those. Like I said, I like the good boys. So she kind of irritated me a bit. But, my other big gripe with the game, the story, is not in the story of itself, but the way it's presented to you. In the sense that you have one area you start off in, and you have to clear that area. But after you clear that area out, you are free to go in any direction you wish. And you actually aren't really free to go in either direction you pick. They ask you straight up, like, where do you want to go next? And this happens so early on in the game that you have no context for what you're choosing. Yep. And so Blake and I both chose the same one. And what you're entering into by basically choosing this person is like a 20-hour campaign.
Actually, my friend Justin, he actually went to Kitsune first.
So this is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize like how big that choice was, because you get to the next character after that. First of all, again, you're entering into a 20-hour campaign where this huge plot twist that your brother, who you thought was dead, is alive, happens on like hour 5 of the game. And then you go to the next area. You're at 30 to 35 hours into this game already. And like Blake said, he beat it in like 50 hours. And this is the area where you learn the most basic shit. You get throwing knives. You get like the eagle vision, if we're going to compare it to Assassin's Creed, because I don't have anything else to compare it to. Yeah. Where basically like you can see through walls. You can see where enemies are. And I was like, damn. I should have gone to this place first, because I love stealth. And this whole game, I was like, I don't like the stealth in this game. I can never see where the enemies are. Like, this is so infuriating. And then you get to this point, and it turns out it's been in the game all along. I just had to wait 35 to 40 hours to get it. And that made me really mad. It made me really disappointed. It made me feel like I could have been having more fun with the stealth and the quests that I was doing, and I wasn't able to because I made the wrong choice that I didn't know to make early on in this game. So that kind of just went like the pacing feeling off. I think they should have made you go to specific areas first. I think they should have arranged the story a little more neatly for you.
I think the Kitsune by default has to be first. If not only just for being able to see people through wall, for smoke bombs. Smoke bombs became integral when I got them because I was able to just do everything when I had a smoke bomb and assassinate 3 enemies at a time and move on with my life. Like
it was so good, and I think it would have hit harder if the Jubei reveal had been further on in the story.
Yep.
Also would have made more sense to me why you were so loyal to Oriyuki, who is the Kitsune, the former Kitsune, because you had been with her throughout the game. The fact that I got her in the last area and then she just shows up with you at the end of the game, I was like, oh, okay, so you're going to be a main character. I didn't think you were going to be a main character. I thought you were going to be the main character for the section you were in. Yep. I didn't realize you were going to be... I mean, basically, you end this game with 3 main characters aside from the little girl, and it's you and your brother and Oriyuki, and I did not know she was going to have that kind of impact on the story. So I think if they had set a different path and made you follow that path, I think story beats and characters would have hit a lot stronger, and it could have elevated a lot of the gameplay. My last complaint, or second to last, is just... This is a game where I thought the gameplay was really good, but because of the way the story works, every time you go to a new area, you're learning new skills and you're getting new weapons. And so it felt in a way I almost never left the tutorial. Because everywhere I went to, I had to do another set of, go find, I'm going to be real, go find another male. Because actually, you had to get to the 3rd area of this game before you unlocked women. I don't know if you noticed that. Blake,
yeah, no, they made a point. That's when they made the statement that Saito no longer cares about gender and just wants people loyal, and that's why you started seeing women.
You don't fight any women.
Yeah.
You don't get any like women female main characters. You don't get any like even side quests really with women. It's all men until you get to like the 3rd area and they're like, you can have one woman. She'll carry the gun. And I was like, all right, man, thanks for the women. So I guess at that point you unlock women, but like you go basically you have 4 to like 6 different masters, and you have to go to their dojo and you have to learn this thing, and then they're like, now here I have a set of tasks for you to learn how to use your weapon. Once you complete these tasks, come back to me and I'll teach you a different technique. And then you have to do that, and then you get like a cut. It just was very repetitive, those scenes, and they all kind of did. Then they were like, oh, we're under attack, or oh, we have to go fight these people, and it made me feel like I never left the tutorial because every new area I went to, I had to like do this same like quest series over and over and over again. And I don't know if that tired you out the way it tired me out, Blake.
It didn't really tire me out. Though I do understand the repetitiveness. I think the only exception, because it wasn't super long and only took 5 seconds to do, was the pistol, which is the best weapon in the whole game. I love that pistol so much.
I put off going to that dude. I like explored the whole area before I went to him because I was like, I don't want to do another like huge like 4 quest thing where I have to do all these things for my. And then I went to him and I was like, oh, we're done? Really?
That's it?
Oh, man.
I just gotta level it up and go. Oh.
I was like, really? That's it? You're not gonna make me like spear a bunch of fish and have like a Zen lesson? I don't know. So I was pretty relieved by that point, but my only big complaint, I guess I just wish there were more side characters I connected with, or more like, I really, again, not to compare it to Shadows, but like what Shadows did was you had one main like hub, and you had like allies, and your allies were always at the hub, and you could have special scenes with them, and you could grow your relationship with them, and that's the kind of thing I enjoyed more. Atsu in this game had a pack, but really her pack was just a group of random merchants that you met throughout the world, and sometimes they could throw a side quest your way, or you could do something interesting with them, but for the most part they were just like random associates. So it didn't really feel like a pack to me. I would have liked more characters, just more side characters.
Yeah, no, I agree. Though I will say, Mad Goro, 10 out of 10 side character. Love that man.
Mad Goro was pretty great. I did really like the little boy, Jiro.
Yes, Jiro
like
is Jiro.
Jiro, thank you. Who like stole things and sold them. There were a few that like I was like, oh, that's nice, but no one I was truly like, oh, this is my favorite. Like it made me think of, I guess, like the first game with like Taka, where I was like, oh, I love Taka. Like I would die for Taka. I love Taka so much.
I did like the Bounty Hunter a lot too. I
The
liked
Bounty
his
Hunter was great. I thought he was fun. I like Kojiro.
Yeah.
I thought he was a lot of fun. But there wasn't anyone I liked the wolf. The wolf was neat.
Oh,
I liked the moment at the end of the game with Atsu and the wolf where she says her hunt is over, and so the wolf leaves her, kind of like symbolizing the departure of her and the wolf and the end of her revenge.
this is something I did want to mention, and I'm not faulting the game. This is not the game's fault. This is more marketing's fault. The marketing made the wolf seem like a way bigger deal than it was.
Yeah, the wolf was not really a thing.
I mean, the whole analogy of the twin wolves and blah blah blah. Like, yes, that made sense, but the wolf was not a huge part of the story at all.
No, it was more like this metaphorical thing where Atsu and her brother were the twin wolves, and all these people who were helping were the pack. But that really fell apart because her pack didn't feel like a pack. They were, like I said, random merchants she met, and the wolf was a series of like side quests or like missions throughout the world, and that was pretty much it. I mean, it was nice when the wolf would come help me sometimes, but I wasn't like, oh, this is my wolf pack.
Plus the wolf standoffs, 10 out of 10.
They were great. They were really fun. I had one other thought. I don't know where it went. I'll come back to it, I guess.
No thought, brain empty. I mean, that's. Oh, go ahead.
My anger thought. I have two anger thoughts. She gives up the revenge. She's like, I don't need revenge anymore. And she takes her list, which is the list of all the people she was going to kill, and she burns it. She's like in front of the main villain, where she's like, see, I'm above this. I don't need revenge anymore. And then she proceeds to
get
murder
revenge.
to get revenge. I like that. And that again was just such a moment of like undercutting it for me, where I was like,
I think the way it was supposed to be conveyed was that like this was no longer a fight for revenge, but more of a fight to stop an evil dude. But it did not land the way they
but that again, it's the whole thing of like she had to kill him because of how evil he was. What, they were gonna let him go and then let him like conquer the world?
Yeah.
I mean, it also these were two small complaints. Where I was waiting for you to finish dismissing because I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think they thought was going to happen? So there's a plot essentially where you're trying to kill two brothers, and you capture one brother, and then you use him as bait to lure the other brother out. And so they're like, we've staged this public execution for brother A, hoping brother B will show up. And they have the execution right on the water because they know brother B has a boat. And then they're absolutely baffled when the ships show up and start shooting at the castle. They're absolutely so flummoxed. They're like, and I'm like,
they're coming from another direction. You didn't think to check every direction?
What did you think they were gonna do? Like, not try to take the castle? Not, like, bring all their best weapons? Like, it's the main villain's kid. I was like, what did you think was gonna happen? Of course, you expected, you planned for him to show up.
Yeah.
You're still surprised that I was like, why didn't you, like, say you took him somewhere else? Why have it at the castle? Why not have it, like, somewhere else completely? Why not, if anything, why not capture him, bring him to prison, tell them you're executing him, kill him while he's still in the jail cell, and then bring out somebody else to be him? Like, put the mask on or put something over his head, like, so that he's dead. I don't know. It didn't make sense. That's it.
Nope.
There was just a lot of plot holes where I was like, this doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this? Or, I don't know. The plot was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was just fine.
I give this game a rating after sitting on it and really thinking about it. I give it a 7.8 out of 10. I have risen it a little bit.
I give my ratings differently than Blake does because I'm used to rating books, which are rated on a 5-star scale. I rate this one like a 3.75 to 4.
We're around in the same range then. That literally is the same range on both scales. It's around that 78% if you think in percentage. Like it wasn't bad. It is in the very good to excellent category. Not perfect. Perfect is 10, but it's very much in that
good.
very good. Huh?
Say excellent. I would say very good. Like
Oh, your audio did not sync, and it came in very late. And yeah, just saw your face. It caught up now. We're good now. But like that was
I just
jarring.
said it was very good, and then you got quiet for a really long period of time, and I was like, oh, that made him really mad.
No. You froze. No. I think very good is like a good thing. If I had to put it on a tier list, which shout outs to my tier list coming when this year is over and I finish backlog games, I'm going to rate everything I played this year, including new things. I would probably put it in B, like a solid B.
Here's my question though. Do you think with everything we have this year, do you think this is still Game of the Year worthy? Do you think this is a Game of the Year contender?
I think it will be a contender because if you listen to how most people are reacting, they are acting like it is.
I think, would you, Blake?
Would I put it as a nomination? No.
In a Game of the Year, like if somebody said to you, choose you, Blake, today get to pick the Game Awards.
Oh shit! Okay, if I have to pick,
Yotei is making that list.
If I have to pick,
personal preference, not based on your personal preference.
Okay, so then it's not if I have to pick. I think just in general, it's going to make it, but it's not going to win. I think it's going to get nominated. Because I'm trying to think. I don't think it deserves it. I think it was too mostly just okay. I think Ghost of Tsushima, when it got nominated, deserved that. It also deserved to win, but I digress. Fuck you, Last of Us Part 2. A
game about the cycle of revenge.
But I think it will get nominated. I don't think it will win. I'm trying to think. I think Expedition 33, Silk Song, Donkey Kong, probably Ghost of Yotei. I don't think Hades 2 is going to get nominated.
Split Fiction?
Split Fiction might. I think Split Fiction will get nominated. Also, as much as I love Split Fiction, I don't think it deserves to be nominated.
Right.
KCD 2 I hadn't played, so I can't really speak on it, but I know people died for that game.
Do you think we'll get in like we got Balatro last year? Do you think we'll get like another indie nod like Peak or Repo because those have been so popular?
I don't think one of those two. I think Silk Song falls under that because it is an indie team with only 3 people. But the difference with Balatro and that is that Balatro came out of nowhere. Silk Song's been in development for 8 years, and everybody's known about it since after Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels different to me somehow.
It is completely different. It's the same, but it's different. Shouts out Balatro, by the way. I love that game. It is so good.
At one point, I was playing Ghost of Yotei the other night, and I was checking to see if you were playing Ghost of Yotei, and you were. And I was like, oh, sweet, we're both playing. And then at one point, I was like, oh, is Blake still online? And I saw that you had switched to Balatro, and I was like, yeah, but I guess you needed a break, huh?
I don't remember why I switched. I want to run that like for the first time in a while that time, too. I did it. I'm like, I'm in a good mood now. I want to move on.
I was like, everybody needs a break, I guess, sometimes. I enjoyed my time with Yotei. I don't know if Yotei is a game that I'm going to feel the need to go back and replay.
No.
It's certainly not going to make my top 10 the way Tsushima did. And okay, so I guess this is, you rate, I guess I'm going to ask the question. Did you like this or did you like Shadows better?
Oh. Okay. I'm going to start by saying this. Yeah, I did. I think they're within the same range. I still think, because I think the highs for Yotei were still higher than the highs for Shadows.
Really?
I think the highs, because the combat for me in Yotei is just significantly better. It is. That's
true.
And granted, I'm not big on Assassin's Creed like I used to be back in the day. I know it's your bread and butter and you love it. And there could be some bias in there, but
I'm just such a stealth person. I will prefer a stealth approach over going in and killing like 50 people in a row over and over. And the stealth for me in Assassin's Creed Shadows is just chef's kiss.
Oh,
you also have like little hook shot. You have the ability to like go underwater. You have the ability to like. So I just, so good.
The stealth in. Oh, you got.
I was just gonna say, like going up to like a castle, and like having to figure out how to approach it and how to like sneak to where I need to get to and kill one enemy at a time. Oh, that was my shit.
I think yes, absolutely the stealth, and then also obviously the parkour in AC Shadows is gonna be way better. There's no question about it. It'd be weird if it wasn't better.
In the end, though, which story did you like better?
About the same. I will give the slight edge to Shadows only because the Yosuke ending.
You said the highest highs of Yotei were better than the highest highs of Shadows. I immediately thought of that ending, and I was like, I don't know if there was a moment in Ghost of Yotei where I was like, yeah, let's go, get it.
Yeah, but that was the only moment. There were more moments of that for me in Yotei when it comes to combat and side content and being like the whole Silent Hill / Resident Evil like feeling tale, for example, was one of those like exciting moments for me, and I had multiple of those.
That.
Huh?
I did like the myths a lot. I guess in comparison, like Shadows had like that whole yokai, the whole like yokai like web with like the guy who had the watermelon on his head.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Like, investigate it. They're like, this person's a yokai. We hear this person out in the woods, and then you go out and it's like a guy with a watermelon on his head. But then at the end, there in fact is a yokai that you have to fight. I don't think those were as fleshed out or as like
no.
Build on as the.
I think the yokai one was the one I was like actually hyped about in Shadows, but no, I still.
I like consistently the story for Shadows, like the end of Act 1 when what was the little kid's name? When the little kid runs off and he finds Yasuke.
This was 8 months ago. I don't remember it.
You and Yasuke and the little boy are in the castle together.
It is something with a J. It's Jinjiro, no. Yes. No, it's Jinjiro.
Sure? Okay.
Hold on. Little kid in AC Shadows. What is his name? Junjiro. It was Junjiro. Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Consistently, I really enjoyed the story of Assassin's Creed Shadow, I think, more than I enjoyed Yotei. I just didn't pick up anything Yotei was putting down. But I will say, there were story moments that always made me, like, they really hit home. And it wasn't the story itself. There's a few different times where, to add to the cinematography or the cinematics of it all, you'll be, like, riding through somewhere, or you'll be going through a story moment, and this beautiful Japanese song will start playing. This woman was an incredible singer.
Yes.
And so, like, the first one you get is when you and your brother reunite. Just to add a fun tidbit to this, when they introduce your adult brother, they don't introduce him as your adult brother. He's just, like, an adult samurai who comes up to you and starts sassing you. And I was like, oh, is this a romance option? And then it was your brother. So I interpreted that really correctly.
Still funny to me.
The first thing you get of that instance is when you and your brother are riding through an area together right after you reunite. And it's kind of awkward and it's kind of weird, but this beautiful music starts playing, talking about, like, the twin wolves who share one heart. There was a few moments where I was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Loved that.
Overall, yeah, I just liked Yotei more. I think this is a problem with most open world games where I think Yotei did it better, was that a lot of open world games feel over bloated, and Shadows felt over bloated for me. Yotei did not feel over bloated for me. I did not get that fatigue and that I don't want to do any of this. Shadows, I didn't platinum Shadows because when I finished the story and I had done so much, I'm like, I really don't want to play anymore and look for more things because there's too much.
Shadows was definitely a longer experience. It was, I mean, I think I put like 100 odd hours into Shadows, whereas I think my Yotei experience was like 55 to 60 hours. So I would agree with that. I also think, though, that Shadows had two main characters. As for like what's in the open world, I do think Shadows had a lot, but again, Shadows was carrying two main characters. So you had stuff for Naoe you had to do, but then you also had stuff for Yasuke to level up his stuff. So I do think Shadows was probably more bloated in the open world content. Now, I will say, I think I enjoyed the actual gameplay of that side content sometimes better than the Yotei gameplay of, like, I like the bamboo strikes a lot, but, like, in terms of, like, the drawing of the paintings, I like the sneaking better, or, like, I really enjoyed Yasuke's, like, weird stance he did. I don't even know how to describe it with his, like, weapons, where you had to press the series. I guess it's very parallel to, like, the bamboo strikes, so this kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked Naoe's weird meditation thing where you had to press the button.
Look,
I don't know. I liked them both. I like them both. I think if I was to replay one, I probably would replay Shadows, but we all know I'm an Assassin's Creed junkie. I love the stealth. It gets me so much. And I did like the story. I still do plan on buying the DLC and playing the DLC, the Claws of Awaji. Also, Yotei is a very historical game. Obviously, it takes place in a real time, but it doesn't have real. I just always am so hooked on the way Assassin's Creed incorporates real people, real historical events, and really focuses in on the culture. I'm always such a sucker for that. But I think they're both fantastic games.
We do need to call it in a second because we've been going for a long time.
We started late, so we haven't been going as long as it feels like we have been going. But
true,
we had a lot to say about Yotei. We put a lot of time into it.
Now, we're back on weekly. You already know this. I should have a Pokemon because I don't have to finish Pokemon Legends ZA to review it because it's a Pokemon game. I will give you a sneak peek. Hey, Game Freak and Nintendo, get some damn voice actors. God damn. It's been too long. Anywho, besides the point, that review should be next week. We have other things planned. Some things may not come to fruition just depending on timing for both of us, but we'll get it figured out.
Am at some point probably going to do a Silent Hill F review. I don't know if that will come. We hope. I'm a little burnt out because I just poured through 60 hours of Yotei. I also plan, I honestly didn't think about this till I was just talking about it, but I do plan on buying and playing the Claws of Awaji DLC for Shadows, which should wrap up a lot of the story elements. I'm not sure if people are interested in a review on that or if anyone really cares, but I could do a review if people wanted to hear my thoughts on it.
How much is that DLC? It's $25.
25.
Oh, that's a little steep, but I understand why.
Unless you pre-ordered the base game, and which is included for free.
Which, no. Okay, cool. This is gonna be where we cut it off. Tune in next week. We're gonna be talking about more stuff. Remember, you can find me on my Twitch channel. I'm gonna try to be live more often. I got a new webcam that looks better, at least to me. It looks
better. You can't
better.
stream because Twitch has banned you.
Are you trying to get me banned?
No, I'm saying you haven't been able to successfully stream on Twitch. Oh, I guess our podcast. I don't know about your actual personal stream.
Yeah, my stream is fine. I have another theory. I have another theory I'm gonna attempt in a little bit. But we'll see. We're gonna try it next week. But yeah, that's gonna happen. And remember, kids, Emily is a human being. That's it. That's the thing. Emily is a human being.
I'm not AI. Definitely
True.
Not.
Yeah, remember, kids, if someone says create generative AI, just know you are killing the environment, most likely.
You're killing me. I'm a
the
writer.
only thing AI is good for, use AI to edit things that you have already written to clean things up, but that's the extent of it.
Don't do it. It will take your voice out of it. Have somebody that you know edit it for you.
What if they're not available and don't have time?
Then read through your own stuff a few different times.
What if you're me?
Then send it to me. I don't know why we're talking about this. I'm here. I'm an editor for a living.
Okay, bye, everybody.